As introductions go, the Sinking City starts strong. You'll quickly find yourself on a beguiling whistle-stop tour of Lovecraft's tall tales, investigating damned caves for lost exhibitions and dealing with genealogy-obsessed tyrants. Rather than map markers, you often have to seek out street corners yourself, placing pins and connecting the dots to unravel a wider mystery. The sea-soaked meat of the Sinking City is investigative work. As Charles Reid, you make dialogue choices and assess evidence to resolve narrative arcs. Sometimes the lead might run playfully dry, and you'll have to dip into side quests to chase, or stumble in most cases, onto some conclusive answers. When you're perusing crime scenes, you'll often run into wily beasts and other unnerving foes. Stare at them too long and you'll induce the Sinking City's insanity effects, causing vision to warp and foe enemies to appear. It's not quite eternal darkness, but it does the trick. It won't take long, however, for you to realise that the combat in the Sinking City is lifeless, and trying to land a decent shot can be unbearable. Some enemies move far too quick for you to ever get a read on them, and others chuck hairballs at you from every angle. You can stumble into different conclusions for each investigation, and there's a very satisfying feeling to piecing together factoids in your mind palace, which can result in serious narrative consequences. Tricky dialogue choices and reactive conclusions ensure that you're always questioning your quest givers, even if their faces are too rigid for any visual tells.
I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you want to take a look? Well, fine. Take what you wish.
Rather than doing any actual sleuthing, you're often left rushing around houses looking for prompts and staring vacantly as signs swirl and puzzles resolve themselves. In some cases, evidence might not be available in a location until a specific NPC tells you about it.
Several men broke into the expedition headquarters. What they didn't smash, they burned. The archives, even the newspapers.
It's a shame that a detective game seems so detached from the joy of discovery. At times, it seems like the easiest option is to make best guesses rather than figure out the whole story. As a character, Charles Reid is one-dimensional, and his limited emotional range quickly becomes tiresome. While he might whip out the odd quip on occasions, they're often so off-piste that you'll almost want to swaddle him and ask if he's doing okay.
Be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
The lackluster facial animations limit the rest of the cast to rigid delivery as well. This is unfortunate due to the often well-written exchanges between characters. The Sinking City seems to address some of Lovecraft's own racism within the stories of the game, mostly through narratives that touch upon xenophobia and eugenics with the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Charles's tortured backstory is also unravelled through some well-made cutscenes as he fights through the grip of hysteria, and it was interesting to see the game break away from the open world and introduce some linearity. And there's also room for fascinating excursions to the ocean floor. However, as well as the creepy crawlies you face off against, there's also plenty of bugs to contend with in the Sinking City, from performance problems to gameplay. NPCs often repeat the same lines in tandem, and their basic animations give the game a budget feel.
He's mad! He's completely mad!
As does their disappearing bodies when they die. The NPCs often work against making the world feel alive. There are tons of them, but unless they're story relevant, they feel like Disneyland animatronics, walking aimlessly and spitting out similar phrases. Unfortunately, there's a disparity in quality between the gameplay and the world of the Sinking City. We loved soaking in its characters and atmospheric environments, and it gives the same surreal feeling as getting lost in one of Lovecraft's short stories. Yet, actually playing the game is a completely different affair. We give it 2.5 stars.